Somewhere in Georgia, a naked man is sprinting through the woods at full speed.
Turn this over to some police officer friends of mine that'll analyze it for me.
Nobody knows why. Nobody explains it. The camera crew just follows him.
Red Diner. There's an altercation going on with a repo guy
And the network airing this calls it Actuality television. That was Southern Fried Stings, a show that ran on TruTV from 2010 to 2011 and asked one very simple question. What if we took a retired state trooper, gave him a team of randos, and let them loose on the American South to fight crime, completely outside the legal system, and then called it a documentary? Jay Russell and his so-called J team tackled everything: drug-dealing moms, cheating husbands, a hot dog vendor allegedly selling more than just hot dogs. And somehow none of it ever involved actual police, actual arrests, or actual consequences. TruTV branded it as Actuality television. Real events, real people, real justice. The only problem?
and a guy in a blue car. It looks like he's getting a little heated.
Stay in the car, don't get out.
The naked guy in the woods had an IMDB credit. The Peeping Tom had a call sheet. And the whole operation was about as legally legitimate as performing a citizen's arrest while wearing a Halloween costume. Southern Fried Stings didn't just fail, it became one of the most spectacular faceplants in the history of fake reality TV. 3 seasons, more than 20 episodes.
Clobber the out of this guy. You gotta come quick.
I'll be right there.
10-4. Here he comes.
Barely above a 2 on IMDB, which is the television equivalent of getting booed off stage and then tripping on the way out. And the story of how it got there is even wilder than anything Jay Russell ever filmed. Court TV launched in 1991 with one mission: make courtroom drama interesting. Spoiler, it wasn't. For 17 years, they aired gavel-to-gavel trial coverage. Real judges, real lawyers, real people falling asleep watching real judges and real lawyers. Turner Broadcasting looked at the ratings, looked at what Cops was doing, and made a decision that would define the network's entire identity. Courtrooms are boring. Crime is fun. Let's pivot. In 2008, they rebranded as TruTV. New tagline, not reality. Actuality.
You are illegally repoing cars.
That's exactly crazy. Look at my pocket. I got the papers.
Bold claim. Zero plan for how to back it up. Because here's the thing about actual documentary content. Reality doesn't work on a production schedule. You cannot book a drug bust for 7 p.m. on a Tuesday because that's when the camera crew is available. Real crime is inconvenient, legally complicated, and sometimes nothing interesting happens for weeks. So TruTV did what any network does when reality gets in the way. They replaced it.
You 3 months behind.
Man, I got paperwork in my car. I'm good.
Call the bank. It's all legit.
That's right.
Enter Jay Russell, former Louisiana state trooper, self-described addiction expert, a man with a southern drawl, a leather jacket, and the energy of someone who has watched way too many action movies. Jay assembled what he called the J Team, a martial arts expert named William Durham, a private investigator who went by Wolf, a youth counselor called Tank, and his right-hand woman, England Simpson. On paper, it sounds like a low-budget A-Team reboot. In practice, it was a TruTV production shooting in Texas and Georgia on a budget that definitely did not include a legal department. The show premiered April 12, 2010. TruTV told advertisers they had something special.
Yo, man, you.
Hey, I'm sorry if you have any problem. Sorry about the confusion.
Okay.
They did not have something special. They had Shag Carpet Man waiting in the wings. The first sign that something was deeply wrong with Southern Fried Stings wasn't a scathing review. It wasn't an angry forum post. It was the IMDB cast page, and it was absolutely damning.
Email to their customers, so if anyone reports seeing this repo guy, we can move in.
Real reality shows don't have cast pages. They have participant lists.
It's a guy and a woman out arguing.
People who happen to be filmed doing real things in real situations. Southern Fried Stings had a full theatrical roster with character names: Naked Man in the Woods, Peeping Tom, Shag Carpet Man. These are not documentary subjects. These are roles, written roles, assigned to actual performers, filmed on an actual schedule, by a network that was still running the tagline, not reality, actuality, during commercial breaks. The audacity of that alone deserves a slow clap. Viewers who grew up watching Cops immediately spotted the difference. Real law enforcement footage has a specific texture: hesitation, confusion, the genuine unpredictability of people who don't know what's coming next.
pushing her around. I can't wait for you guys.
Southern Fried Stings had none of that. It had the energy of a show that knew exactly where the dramatic beat was supposed to land, because someone had written it into a script 3 weeks before filming. The legal questions were even better. Jay Russell was not a cop. No arrest powers. No authority to conduct sting operations of any kind. In any real legal framework, a private citizen staging a confrontation and physically detaining someone isn't justice. It's assault and false imprisonment.
What the is wrong with you? Crazy! No, do not take my car!
The fact that Jay did this on camera every episode with a full film crew watching made it simultaneously more illegal and more insane.
Oh my god, thank God you guys are here! Thank God!
Like committing a crime with your own documentary crew attached as witnesses. Online forums filled up with the same question on repeat. How is any of this allowed? How does Jay stare down a gun-wielding meth dealer in one scene and then calmly recap the situation to camera in the next? Unharmed, perfectly lit, not in prison. Because the meth dealer was an actor. That's how. TruTV said nothing. No clarification, no fine print, just more episodes, more chaos, and more situations that violated every known law of physics, liability, and basic human self-preservation. The audience split in real time. Some kept watching, others went straight to IMDB and left reviews comparing it to watching flies lay eggs in rotten meat. That is a direct quote. Someone was that specific, that committed, and that disgusted.
What's going on, little man? You want to explain something to me? This was with all your stuff. What the?
By the end of season 1, Southern Fried Stings had an audience, just not the one TruTV wanted. The people still tuning in weren't believers, they were rubberneckers, watching to see how far the show would push the absurdity before someone finally pulled the plug. TruTV's response? Greenlight Season 2. Season 2 arrived in October 2010 with a very clear creative direction. If people think it's fake, make it faker. Go bigger, go weirder, dare them to look away. Jay went undercover to catch a call girl. The team crashed an actual wedding ceremony to detain a felon who happened to be a guest, because nothing says congratulations on your marriage like a reality TV crew ruining the reception. An investigation at a local amusement park uncovered gang activity among kids who were, presumably, not there for the rides.
How you gonna accuse me?
Because it was with your stuff.
That is not mine.
It's yours now.
Trying to frame me, that's not mine.
And one episode ended with Jay staring down the barrel of a loaded gun during a monster truck investigation, which raises so many questions about the connection between monster trucks and firearms that it almost becomes philosophical. Every episode followed the exact same structure. New case, escalating tension, dramatic confrontation 30 seconds before the commercial break. Resolution, repeat. It was so formulaic you could set a timer to the plot beats and be right every single time. Impressive for a show insisting it was capturing spontaneous real-life events. Here's the thing though, and this is worth acknowledging. Southern Fried Stings absolutely knew what it was doing structurally. It wasn't accidentally watchable. It was engineered to keep people on the couch for 30 minutes. Hook, escalate, payoff, hook again. The formula worked. The problem was TruTV standing in front of that formula every week going, "This is real life, everyone." By 2011, the fake reality TV conversation had gone fully mainstream. Storage Wars was facing a lawsuit over allegedly planted items.
Say, bud. How you doing? Congratulations on your wedding.
Thanks, man. I don't think I know you.
You know me now.
Operation Repo had quietly admitted to using dramatic reenactments. The whole genre was under a microscope, and audiences had officially run out of patience for being lied to. Southern Fried Stings got caught in that wave with zero defense prepared. Storage Wars could at least argue the auctions were real. Southern Fried Stings had Shag Carpet Man in the credits. There was nowhere to hide and nowhere to run. Season 3 limped out in March 2011. The cases escalated to strippers, drug-connected bowling alleys, and a deadly showdown with heavily armed ex-cons that somehow resulted in 0 casualties, and presumably a very awkward rap party. The ratings collapsed, and in May 2011, the show simply stopped. No announcement, no finale, no goodbye.
Listen, just
is
keep
going on?
quiet.
Why
Do you have an invitation?
Yeah, I got an invitation. It's a warrant for your arrest. Come with me.
TruTV moved on and pretended it never happened. Jay Russell went back to private investigation. Tank went back to youth counseling. Wolf went back to being a private investigator named Wolf, which is a sentence that raises its own questions. And Shag Carpet Man, wherever he is, hopefully found better work than this. Southern Fried Stings wasn't a unique failure. It was a symptom of an entire industry having a collective breakdown, and being the one dumb enough to do it in public without a mask on. The early 2000s were peak fake reality TV. Networks had cracked the economics. Unscripted content was cheap, fast, and profitable enough at modest ratings to keep the greenlight button permanently pressed. Real documentary filmmaking takes time, access, and patience, 3 things cable networks in 2010 absolutely did not have. Staged documentary filmmaking takes a camera, some willing performers, and a lawyer willing to squint very hard at the fine print. Much easier.
I thought you left this behind you.
This is a mistake.
This is my wedding day. What the hell?
TruTV ran that playbook harder than almost anyone. Lizard lick towing, all worked up, hardcore pawn. Show after show, built on real-ish people in staged-ish situations sold as raw, unfiltered footage. Southern Fried Stings was just the one that got caught fastest, because it was the sloppiest about hiding it. Most shows at least had the self-awareness to not list their criminals in the credits with character names. But here's the part nobody talks about. Southern Fried Stings still has an audience in 2025, not a big one, but people are still finding it, still watching it, still leaving reviews. And not because they think it's good, because there's something weirdly compelling about watching a show that has absolutely no idea how bad it is. It's the same reason people slow down to look at a car crash, the same reason.
Come on, Mabel. Come on.
The Room became a cult classic. Bad, when it's committed enough, becomes its own genre. Southern Fried Stings was committed. Jay Russell believed every second of it. The J team showed up every episode like they were saving actual lives. And that sincerity, that complete absence of self-awareness, is the one thing the show had that no scripted drama could fake. Barely above a 2 on IMDB isn't just a bad score. It's a monument. It says, we watched this, we understood exactly what it was, and we want it on record permanently that we were not fooled. That score hasn't moved in 15 years. Fossilized contempt, with a small but loyal audience still watching underneath it. They read the IMDB page. They always read it. They just kept watching anyway. TruTV wanted cheap. They wanted fast. They wanted the energy of actuality television without the inconvenience of actual reality. And for more than 20 episodes, they almost got away with it. If almost means barely above a 2 on IMDB, a quiet cancellation with no announcement, and a tagline that disappeared from the network's branding so fast it left skid marks. The real legacy of Southern Fried Stings isn't the show, it's what it represented. A network so desperate to fill a Monday night slot that it cast actors as criminals, filmed them being fake arrested by a man with no legal authority, labeled the whole thing Actuality, and hoped nobody would check. They checked. They always check. Jay Russell went back to real investigations. TruTV went back to the drawing board, and the naked man in the woods, wherever he is today, at least got an IMDB credit out of it, which is more than the show deserved. If this is the kind of reality TV disaster breakdown that belongs in your feed.
Just when I think we've got things under control, here comes Bridezilla after me.
Subscribe. New video every 3 days. And trust me, the rabbit hole goes much, much deeper than Jay Russell and his legally questionable team of Southern Justice Warriors.